Buckle up for Nasty, guys. She is going to live up her name and be absolutely disgusting. How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to the channel. At the time of filming this, it is 2:01 a.m. my time, but I have to get this video out to you because if you have a keen eye, you may have noticed we are in the Esoteria Order faction. We have not one, not two, but three legendary lords. That is right. The newest legendary lord in Watch of Realms has arrived. It is Nasty. Probably NASTYA, but we're going to just call her Nasty because she is. This kid is pretty crazy, and it's going to be kind of meta-defining because they're introducing a whole new mechanic with poison. And actually, along with her, 3 other new heroes have arrived. I'll talk about them for one moment, but this video will be dedicated to Nasty over here. But you can see she is the 3rd legendary esotericist lord. She's pretty nuts. I want to keep this video brief because I think you guys just want to get introduced to her. But before we do, I just want to explain that they're trying to get this whole poison team comp meta going, and she is going to be enabling that. There is an epic version of her, Vixera. We'll cover her very soon. She's not nearly as strong as Nasty, but she's pretty good. I think it's NASTYA, but we're calling her Nasty. This is going to be pretty fun. I'm assuming she's Ancient exclusive, but I can't confirm any of that right now. If we continue along, here's a new hero, Numera. Yes, she's been on Forerunner for a while, but they completely reworked her kit, and she's going to have crazy interactions with Nasty. So this will be a lot of fun. She looks phenomenal. She's always looked phenomenal, but now she's got a lot of extra stuff going on. She's got dual faction and not just Piercer, but also Esoteria Order, and she's going to be key to this poison meta that I think is coming. Finally, we have Vorn. This guy looks real cool. He is a magic marksman. Believe it or not, this guy is a marksman, and yes, he's all about poisons. Those other 3 we will talk about a lot in the coming days, but starting now, we got to talk about Nasty. So I want to confirm if she's Ancient exclusive or not, but it really is quite hard. They don't keep the Ancient summoning live, but you can see I can go over here to the drop rates in our normal Invocation of Spirits or the Divine Summoning, and she's not listed here, which means she's got to be Ancient exclusive. And when you see the kit, yeah, I mean, it's too good to be a not Ancient exclusive hero. So Nasty, here's the talent. She has a 40% chance to inflict a new debuff in the game called Acute Poisoning. So what does that do? Well, it increases all poison and toxic surge damage by 40%. Poison, as we know, is a stackable magic damage over time effect, so a magic dot. You probably don't know what toxic surge is, and essentially that's something that, as of now, I believe Numera is the only hero in the game that will have it. And it's pretty unique. It's essentially like if you played other games, it's a poison activation or poison explosion. It allows all the poison effects that you've stacked on the target to not be damaged over time and just to be consumed and consumed so the damage is dealt immediately. So I think there's going to be a real meta kind of thing against bosses pairing Nasty and Numera. Maybe you get a couple other poisoners in there as well. We'll have to see as this all develops. So all of her damage dealing moments, all of her instances of damage, all of her attacks have a 40% chance, which is pretty dang high, to inflict a 40% acute poisoning. So this is increasing all the poison and toxic surge damage by 40%. Additionally, it will also have the chance, 40% chance, to inflict 1 stack of poison. This is anytime she deals damage. So her ultimate over here is a sextuple hitter. It's a 6 times hitter. So each one of those has the chance to renew the stacks of acute poisoning, or renew the debuff, I should say, the existence of the acute poisoning, and then add stacks to poison. You can see each poison can stack up to 10 times. There's an interesting thing with her kit because things are scaling based on the number of poisons. I believe each hero placing poison now must be able to have their own column of poisons that they can stack, because you'll see they talk about many more than 10 stacks. So maybe it's 10 stacks that each individual poisoner can place. But this is a lot. And I'll tell you, the acute poisoning lasts for 10 seconds. So the fact that she can apply it from doing hits, and as you're going to see in one moment, when she gets hit, she can apply it, it will have 100% uptime. Like, except for very rare, very RNG, low probability moments, when you use her, there'll be 100% uptime essentially on acute poisoning, which is going to be nuts, and it's going to make poison so much more valuable. You can see here, when receiving direct damage from enemies, inflicts 40% acute poisoning and 1 stack of poison. There's no 40% chance on that. Anytime she's taking direct damage, she's putting on another poison stack, and she's renewing or placing the acute poisoning. So this thing's just going to be up all the time. The basic now. By the way, she's a mage, if that wasn't clear. We should actually, let's take this moment. We did the talent. Let's go over her stats because they're very good. HP is really high, so that's going to help for content like Semra, where you don't want your platformers dying, or Abyss. She's going to shine in both those places. And then the main thing I want to talk about is the attack. 5,317 base attack makes her the second highest attack, makes her the hero, the mage in the game that is the second highest attack. Only Ingrid is higher. So 5,300 is just huge. That's more than Alistair. That's more than Kriya. That's more than Praetus. Only Ingrid, who has like 6,100 attack, which is insane, has more. Her poison damage scales off of this, so it's really important. Combine that with the big HP pool. She's going to be awesome against bosses and enabling this poison meta. For her attack interval, that's kind of key. It's 2.6 seconds. So you can see her basic attacks, you easily will get that under 2 seconds. So you'll be able to get off a minimum of 5 basics every 10 seconds, ensuring you'll keep this acute poisoning up at all times. And if somehow she misses it 5 times in a row with a 40% chance, that's very unlikely. She can also place the acute poisoning when she is hit. All right, let's go to the kit. So she deals 100% magic damage to one enemy, prioritizing the one with the highest HP. There's lots of stuff in her kit that's prioritizing the highest HP. She is meant to destroy bosses. That is her purpose. She's going to be awesome in Abyss 1. She's going to be awesome in Semra. She'll be good in the other Guild Boss 1 stuff, the other Drake stuff as well. She'll be fantastic in Arbiter of Frost. She could be really good in Styx, we'll have to see. But she's just going to be a boss slayer for this kind of stuff. The ultimate now, very cheap, right? It starts at 550 costs, but you can get it down to 450. You'll be spamming this thing. The duration's really short, so you can cycle it all the time. Deals 260% damage. This goes up to 320% damage 6 times. So let me try to do some quick math there. 320 times 6, you're talking 1,920 damage. And yeah, that's not like the biggest burst of all time, but it's very cheap at 450. So she will be spamming this. And then when she does that, each hit is going to inflict 1 stack of poison. So that's just great. Let's get some more poison on. That scales with the rest of her kit very nicely as well, as you're going to see. You're going to see in just 1 second. And also she puts out a magic res reduction. So this is a magic defense break, minus 30%, the biggest we have in the game. Hers lasts, let me make myself a little smaller, move myself out of the way. Hers lasts 15 seconds. So she'll be ulting not every 15 seconds, but pretty dang frequently. So you'll get really nice uptime on this because it is a very low cost, cheap ult. It doesn't take much rage. For every 1 stack of poison on the target, increases the ultimate's damage by 1% up to 30%. So this is why I'm saying I believe different poisoners will get their own column of poison to stack up to 10. So I think this is encouraging you to bring her and 2 other poisoners, so each of them can maybe get each of their, I'm calling them columns, but their debuff designation spot on the bar. Each of those can be stacked up to 10 for 3 poisoners and maybe bring 4 poisoners. We'll see. Then you can max this out with a big damage increase. It's really a lot. Because the ultimate's already going to be slapping, and this is going to be like a multiplicative thing, 30% more on what you would have been doing. So very strong. First passive here, each time poison is successfully inflicted, deals true damage equal to 10% attack 1 time. You can see this is going to scale up to 13% true damage. That's pretty cool. There's also going to be a damage multiplier increase we'll talk about in 1 moment. For every 1 stack of poison on the target, increases the true damage of this hit by 1% up to 20%. So you can now, with skill ups, you can get 13% attack 1 time, and then you can get that cap up to 30%. So again, encouraging you to get 30 stacks of poison. Poison can only stack up to 10 times. So I'm thinking 3 unique sources of poison, each one of those can stack up to 10 times. Or 4, unique sources of poison. 3 of them are 8 times and 1 of them 6 times. That'd be another way, for example, right? Very strong. Finally, this is kind of key because it probably is hinting towards content that is coming. She has something called poison immunity, and with her awakening, she can give it to allies too. This makes her immune to poison effects. Right now in the game, there's not really anything that's putting poison out on us besides Abyss 1, right? I'm assuming they're counting that fiery, poisony thing as a poison. Otherwise, we're getting some new content where they can poison us. But that could be really, really, really crazy, right? You know, the in Abyss one, Sarion, or however you say his name, he has his unique damage over time effect. It's like a fiery poison kind of thing. So should have immunity to that, I'm thinking. Otherwise, there's going to be brand new content with like a poison boss, and she's going to be key for it. So she's going to be huge. Each time she successfully inflicts poison or refreshes it 6 times, increases her attack by 4%. This stacks up to 7 times. You can get that stack up to 10. And you can reduce the number of stacks required, so each number of instances, to 4. So you can very quickly stack her to a 40% attack boost, right? Because you get this up to 10 stacks, 4% per stack. It's pretty nuts. Finally, maybe we should have opened with this, but her actual Lord skill, her special thing, first line is the exact same as Cyrus and Venoma, increases, and every legendary Lord in the game, increases her faction team members' basic attributes by 15%. That is standard. Then the second line is the same as Cyrus and Venoma, reduces faction team members' skill costs by 25%. So remember, this is great for her as well. So her cost with skill ups is going to be only 450, but she benefits from her own Lord skill if you're using her as a Lord. So that brings her down to 312.5 ult cost. So she will be spamming this thing, spamming that ultimate. Then increase, this is her unique part. This is her unique Lord skill, the final line. Increases faction team members' damage against targets inflicted with debuffs. Doesn't just have to be poisons, any debuffs by 5% per debuff, up to 40% increase. So that means if you have 8 debuffs, she will max this out at 40% for all of her faction allies. They don't need to be the ones applying the debuffs. They just need to be hitting the target with the debuffs. So you can really quickly understand how easy it will be to have 8 debuffs. I'm assuming they count each stack of poison as its own debuff. Even if they don't, she's already providing in her kit acute poisoning, poison, and magic res reduction. So, you know, if you brought just 5 more, you'd be able to max out. But I do believe they'll count each stack of poison as the debuff. Phenomenal kit. Phenomenal kit, phenomenal base stats. She is way more hyped than I thought she was going to be, just because I don't know. I felt like after Ingrid, they took a big step back with Rygar. This is crazy. She's nuts. For bosses, she is nuts. Let's go to the Awakenings. I'm just going to tell you the A3 is broken. So if only one target exists, aka boss content, the power of her acute poisoning, which remember she has 100% uptime on, goes from 40% to 70%. So all poison effects and all toxic surge effects, so if you're bringing Numera to explode those poisons, they are all just getting a 1.7x multiplier. That is so much. That makes poison so relevant. You know, all of a sudden you're going to see Araka getting play, right? Because Araka at all times against bosses maintains a full 10 stacks of poison when she's the source. So this is crazy. If you can get her A3, 70% is nuts. Let's go to the A1, though. Each hit of the ultimate inflicts stun on the target with poison. So if you're using her in Semra, that would be her one target. She'll always have poison on Semra, so this will allow Semra to be stunned. I do wonder, though, the ultimate doesn't last that long. It's 3.5 seconds. 6 hits in 3.5 seconds. Will those be slow enough in between that they each count as individual stuns? I think so, right? It's just over half a second per hit over that duration. So this should be 6 stuns, but we'll have to test it out. But that makes her really instantly relevant for Semra for dealing with the Death Saw phase, the first phase, plus 300 attack to her base attack. That puts her over 5,600. And then her special enhanced skill for her faction team members, penetration increased by 5%. So they're all ignoring an additional 5% defense and magic resistance. The A3 I talked about, that's nuts. A4, she's ignoring another 8%. And finally, the A5 deals 25% increased damage to targets inflicted with poison. You're using her against bosses. She maintains at least some poison on the boss at all times. This just means all her damage is increased by 25%. Nothing more to it. You can see she is extremely hype, extremely excited. Start saving your ancients. What else can I say? Start saving your ancients. And frankly, I think this is going to be potentially so meta. Start saving your normal summons as well to get Numera. Maybe they'll do a 2x by 50 next. So save all your divines, save everything for Numera. She will not be ancient exclusive, but Nasty will be. Buckle up for Nasty, guys. She is going to live up her name and be absolutely disgusting. Thank you for watching. I've been Fastidious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.